Hello, everyone. My name is Kamila, and this is the story of how I got online. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can something so ordinary, so simple, be worth a story? But for me, it wasn't simple at all. Getting online changed everything, my dreams, my world, and even the way I saw myself. It started in the small town of Valencia Hill, a place surrounded by golden fields and quiet roads. The kind of town where the loudest noise was the church bell at noon, and the biggest dream anyone had was to get a government job or move to the city. I was 17 then, a girl with dust on her shoes, books under her arm, and stars in her eyes. My father was a farmer, honest, hardworking, and the kind of man who believed that life was meant to be lived in simplicity. My mother, on the other hand, was quiet. She didn't speak much, but when she smiled, the whole world seemed a little less cruel. We didn't have much: an old radio, a single fan that worked when the electricity allowed, and a small black and white TV that my father had bought when I was 10. There was no computer, no smartphone, no internet, but I had dreams. Big ones. Every time I went to school, I saw posters about digital India and online learning. I didn't fully understand what it meant, but it sounded powerful. It sounded different. I used to stand outside Ravi's internet cafe, the only one in our village. It was a small tin-roofed shop with 2 dusty computers and a broken chair outside. Kids from the nearby private school went there after class to play games and check something they called Facebook. I wanted to know what that was. I wanted to see what existed beyond Valencia Hill, beyond the farms, the muddy paths, the endless sky. But my father always said, "Kamila, those things are for rich people. The internet won't plant crops or feed a family." Maybe he was right. Back then, it really did sound like magic, a kind of invisible world that only a few could enter. But my heart, it wanted to try. It happened one afternoon in July. The monsoon had just begun, and the smell of wet earth filled the air. I had gone to the market to buy vegetables for my mother when I saw Aisha, my classmate. She was standing near the bus stop, holding something shiny in her hand, a smartphone. "Kamila, look what my brother sent from Dubai," she said, waving it proudly. It was the first time I'd ever seen a touchscreen. When she unlocked it, I saw colors, pictures, and videos. People dancing, cooking, studying, laughing. It was like holding another universe in her palm. "This is Instagram," she said, showing me pictures of people from all over the world. "You can post your photos here or talk to anyone, even someone from America." I laughed. "You're lying. No one from America would talk to us." That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind was filled with questions. What did it feel like to be seen by the world? What if my stories, my thoughts, my little poems could reach beyond this village? Someone listened. The next morning, I made a decision. I was going to learn how to use the internet, no matter what, but of course, I had no computer, no phone, and no money. So I started working after school, helping Mrs. Does at her stationery shop, sorting notebooks and pens. Every evening, I earned 10 rupees. It took me almost 3 months to save 150 rupees, enough for 1 hour at Ravi's internet cafe. I remember that day vividly. My hands were trembling as I pushed the cafe door open. Inside, two boys were playing games, shouting at the screen. Ravi looked up and grinned. Kamila, you here? Never thought I'd see you inside. I want to learn how to use the internet, I said shyly. He laughed. Learn? You think it's school. It's just Facebook, games, and YouTube. What do you want to do? I want to see the world, I whispered. He stared at me for a moment, maybe trying to figure out if I was serious, and then shrugged. Okay, sit here. Computer flickered to life, and within seconds, I saw something I had never seen before. Google. The screen was white, simple, but powerful. I typed my name, Kamila, and suddenly the world exploded in front of me. Thousands of results, images, stories, people. There were other Kamilas from Brazil, from Spain, from the Philippines. Some were singers, some writers, some scientists. That was the first time I realized the world was much, much bigger than Valencia Hill. And maybe, just maybe, there was a place for me in it. Every Sunday after that, I returned to the cafe. Sometimes for 15 minutes, sometimes for an hour, depending on how much I could save. I learned to use email, YouTube, and Wikipedia. I watched tutorials on everything, from English grammar to photography to coding. I didn't understand most of it at first, but I kept watching, kept learning. One day, I found a channel called Stories Around the World. It was a girl my age, sitting in her room, telling stories from her village, stories about people, emotions, dreams. Millions of people watched her. I sat there, stunned. She wasn't rich. She wasn't famous. She was just like me. And yet, the world listened to her. That night, I looked at my reflection in the small cracked mirror in our kitchen and whispered, one day, the world will listen to me too. Life doesn't always like dreamers. When my father found out that I was spending money at the internet cafe, he was furious. You think this nonsense will feed you? He shouted. Do you want to become one of those city girls who forget their roots? Tears burned in my eyes. Papa, I just want to learn. No, he cut me off. No daughter of mine will waste time online. You will help your mother study, and that's it. He took away my savings, my books, everything for weeks. I didn't step outside. It ended right there. But one evening, my mother came into my room quietly. She sat beside me, stroked my hair, and said softly, Kamila, your father doesn't understand the world you see. But I do. Here, she handed me her old phone, a tiny keypad model, cracked but working. It doesn't have internet, she said. But if you're meant to find a way, you will. That was my mother, gentle, but full of faith. I hugged her tightly and promised, one day, I'll make you proud. Months later, something unbelievable happened. Our school was chosen for a digital education project, and the government sent a team to teach students about computers and the internet. Every student would get 1 hour a week in the new computer lab. It felt like fate when my turn came. I sat in front of a new monitor, sleek, fast, and shining. The instructor, Mr. Roy, smiled and said, All right, class. Let's start with how to create an email. Within weeks, I was helping other students type, search, and explore. Mr. Roy noticed my curiosity and asked me to stay after class one day. Kamila, he said, you learn fast. Have you ever thought about blogging? Blogging, I asked. Confused, he explained. It's where you write stories online. Anyone in the world can read them. Stories. Online, my heart leapt. That night, using a school computer, I created my first blog. Kamila's World. I wrote about our village, our sunsets, and my father's fields that glowed like gold at harvest time. I didn't expect anyone to read it, but within a week, I got my first comment. A girl from Indonesia had written, "Your story makes me miss my hometown." Thank you. I read it again and again, tears filling my eyes. Someone miles away understood me. That was the moment I truly got online, not just with a computer, but with my soul. Months passed. My blog began to grow. People from different countries started following me. Some left comments. Others shared my posts. I wrote about everything: life, dreams, and the small beauties of simple living. Then one day, I received an email that changed everything. It was from a woman named Elena, a writer from Spain. She said, "Kamila, your words have light. Would you like to write for our online magazine?" I couldn't believe it. Me, a farmer's daughter from Valencia Hill, writing for an international magazine. I accepted, trembling with excitement. That first payment, a small $50, wasn't just money. It was proof that dreams born in silence could still echo across the world. When the magazine published my article, I printed it and showed it to my parents. My father looked at it for a long time, then asked quietly, "People really read this? From other countries?" I nodded. He didn't say anything for a while. Then, slowly, he smiled, a small, proud smile. "You've gone farther than I ever imagined," he said. "Maybe this internet isn't useless after all." I laughed and hugged him. For the first time, my father believed in me. Soon, our home changed too. We bought a second-hand smartphone. My father learned to watch videos about farming techniques. My mother learned recipes online. And my younger brother started online classes. Our little house, once filled only with silence, now buzzed with connection, laughter, learning, and hope. Today, I'm 22. I still live in Valencia Hill, but I'm no longer just a girl from a small town. I'm a writer, a storyteller, and most importantly, I'm connected to the world. I've met people from over 20 countries through my blog. I've shared stories, learned cultures, and even started my own YouTube channel where I tell village stories, just like this one. Sometimes I look back and wonder, what if I'd never gone to that cafe? What if I'd never typed my name into Google? Would I still have found my voice? Maybe not. But the truth is, the internet didn't change who I was. It only helped me find who I'd always been. People often say, "Kamila, how did you get online?" And I smile, because the real answer isn't about Wi-Fi or a screen. It's about courage. It's about faith. It's about believing that, even from the smallest place, you can touch the biggest world. The internet isn't just technology, it's a bridge. And for someone like me, that bridge led to dreams I didn't even know were possible. So if you're listening to this, from your room, your city, your own little corner of the world, remember, you don't need to be rich or perfect or lucky to reach beyond your limits. You just need one spark, one click, one story, because that's all it took for me. That's how Kamila got online. Thank you for listening. This is Kamila, And this is my story.